In this section, we're going to talk about advance directives, which is a very important part of what chaplains do or assist in or stand beside a patient family when they're making these decisions of advance directives. So let's kind of go over it again and again and again. I find sometimes I want to just bury my head in my hands and cry because there's so much misinformation. And I mean from doctors, nurses, chaplains, everybody. So I'm just going to go the real simple basics in this. I teach this at 2 different nurses' colleges in my area. So I'm on the ethics board there and also on the bioethics committee of Florida. It's just something I like, something I enjoy. So I want to go back to the basics of this, of what we can do in helping our patients. First of all, just to understand the definition that the directives are medical directives about life support. It isn't about last will and testament. It isn't about your power of attorney for banking. It's about directives that you, the patient, want concerning life support when you're on life support and how long to be on that. In advance of what? In advance of a heart attack, a respiratory arrest, a stroke, car accident, electrocution, drowning. Oh boy, I'm really getting sad here today, aren't I? But and then you go, well, when is that going to happen? I don't know. That's why we do it in advance. You know, everybody's thinking, well, I just want to wait till I get old. Well, it may be too late when you're old. I mean, I'm standing by the family and the patient during these times when there is an advance directive, and they're going, I wish we would have done that many years ago. And then they're going, well, they're in a coma now. And I go, well, we're going to wait till they get out of the coma. You can't get them to sign in a coma or make a decision in a coma or under anesthesia or when they're anoxic. You know, we can't do it now. It's too late now. There may be a window of opportunity tomorrow or next year, but right now we can't do it. So we do it in advance. This is not a last will and testament about their money or their banking. The advance directives include 3 things, and the terminology living will and advance directives gets interchanged. They may say, do you have a living will? Yes. Do you have an advance directive? Yes. But advance directive includes 3 things: the living will, the healthcare surrogate, meaning the person that you will speak for you, and organ donation. Every living will say in a certain way when there is poor prognosis or when there's no reasonable recovery that take me off of life support then. So we're looking for these kind of definitive terms: terminal, end stage, persistent vegetative state, or brain dead. Now you would think terminal sounds awful, but on the list of these 4, it's the best. I would rather be terminal than end stage. I would rather be end stage than persistent vegetative state. I would rather be persistent vegetative state than what most people think I am, brain dead. Okay? So it is a list of gradual getting worse, but it is in the topic if you say the patient has a poor prognosis. I hope on my chart there's written Larry's getting better. This is the time when Larry's not going to get better and my wife Sarah, my surrogate, is going to make decisions for me what to do about what I want. The charting, normally in charting, I don't want you to read charts. You will not be allowed to read charts. I'm just saying if you did read charts, you would see these words most often: poor, meaning the prognosis, or guarded. What do those mean? Nobody knows. That's why they're safe to put in the chart. Oh, this patient's guarded. This patient. You will not see many times in a chart until there is no hope at all, where you're just forcing the hand of the physician, okay, choose one. Is it terminal? Is it end stage? Is it persistent vegetative? Is it brain dead? Then you will see something in the chart. Otherwise, you will not see much of it. Now, New Jersey is not the persistent vegetative state. They're the garden state. Okay? Ha ha. So poor New Jerseyans, we'll just pick on them today, okay? When to withdraw life support. Now see, note that in the living will, I'll distinguish those between the do not resuscitate in a moment, but in the living will it says, resuscitate me, give me life support, evaluate how I'm doing, and if I'm not doing well, take me off life support. And when are we going to take off life support when the prognosis is poor, which means one of these, terminal, end-stage, persistent vegetative state, or brain dead. When the prognosis is poor, when 2 physicians are ready in the hospital, meaning your attending physician, the one that admitted you in the hospital, and then 1 consulting physician, when they both are ready, not just one, both are ready, and when your surrogate is ready, would be my wife, or my second in line surrogate, my daughter Lori. So when my wife is first, if my wife wasn't available, wasn't still living, wasn't capable, Lori, my number 2, would come in line and make that decision. When that surrogate is ready, and the right timing, let's say there's a poor prognosis, 2 physicians are ready, the surrogate's ready, but maybe somebody else needs to come into town first. We can wait. Just because everything's in line, the papers are all signed, doesn't mean we do it right now, right now, right now. No, we can wait, or wait for a prayer by the bed, or wait for people to go and talk. So there's a timing part of that. Looking at this is more of looking at the whole picture, what's going on. There is a balance of patient rights, what I want as a patient, as opposed to medical ability. Now, 50 years ago, we did not have to make these decisions. There wasn't life support. You know, there wasn't a good ventilator that could keep us alive. There weren't even ways to feed a patient heroically. There wasn't even good CPR. There wasn't a thing called the paddles that shock the heart. There wasn't a way to sustain life, maybe continuous dialysis like DVVHD, that's all the time. It's life support. We didn't have those things. So it was simple then. I collapse at the supermarket and I'm dead. And no one does anything to get me back alive. So I didn't need advanced directives then, did I? Because there wasn't anything like life support to determine when to take me off. Life was simple then, but life support does some wonderful things of getting people back alive in the supermarket, at the home, on the airplane, at the football field, put them on life support, evaluate how they're doing, then they're getting better, and they go home happy. That's good. What we're talking about is when people are on life support and they're not getting better, what do we do then? And if you haven't made your determination, your family's going, I don't know what they want. We didn't talk about it. So I'm saying to all of us, let's make that determination. Let's decide what you want, and you tell your family, and you do that by way of a documented advance directive. This directive does not need to be notarized. If you get it from an attorney, they want theirs to be notarized. Not because the state says so, just because they maybe get extra money from the notary doing it, okay? You don't have to buy one from the attorney for $50 to $200. The hospital will give you one free. You go down to the admitting down there and say, may I have one of those free admit? You don't have one?
You get it from case management.
Oh, okay, just a different place, but it's free. But the only thing you're going to get free in the hospital, so grab one or two, okay? And bring one to every family member you know, going, mom, dad, brother, sister, me, my wife, my husband, my children over 18. Everybody get one now. What are we waiting for? Get one filled out. It could be verbal, what my wishes are. It could be sitting by my wife watching an ER program and I go, honey, don't you ever do that to me. Don't you ever leave me on life support. That's a verbal living will. But documented is better. There are some states that go by verbal, like Florida is really okay with verbal. One person says, this is what you want. Okay, you said it, documented, it's down. That's why Terry Schiavo was allowed to be taken, because that was the state of Florida law, okay? Now, it's better to put it down. It's better to put it into writing, and it's better to have a talk with your family. Now, when does that happen? Thanksgiving's coming up. Here's what I want you to do at Thanksgiving. After the turkey's been eaten, I want you to push back from the table and say, kids, we're going to talk about my living will now.
That's the perfect time to talk to
and they're going to go, Mama, you're going to live forever. Don't talk about that, right?
But it is the right time.
It is the right time, but there's no good time. So Thanksgiving, push back from the turkey and bring out your living will. This is what I want. Look me in the eye and shake your head. Okay, Mama, okay, Daddy, that's what I'll do. Okay? Because if you don't have some discussion, they will kind of be putting their motive.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
The discussion at the dinner table.